Hello my lovelies, Rob here from Kickback Garage. Now I'm going to be cracking on with this Goldstar Desert sled project of mine. The first thing I need to do is do a full rebuild of the fork and headstock. So if that's something you're interested in, grab yourself a brew and I'll see you after the intro. As you can see, I am missing my wheel. I've obviously taken off the wheel. 2 bolts for the brake arm lever thingy, what's my jig, bracket, what's my job, and take out the axle. One thing I've done these before. One thing I noticed was the axle itself was left-hand thread. I actually don't think this fork is sitting completely straight, and the reason why I'm doing a full rebuild on this is the 2 previous owners of this machine, they said that the fork was behaving like a pogo stick. Now, last week, or 2 weeks ago actually, I removed the drain plug in the bottom of the fork to take out the oil, and there was nothing that came out. I think probably about 40 centilitres of absolutely clear water. So, yeah. I wonder what they look like in there. So what I've done is I've bought new bushes, I've bought some new springs, and hopefully I can get these up and running again. Another thing I'm going to do is take off the triple tree, or the fork crown, and fit some concentric, what they call concentric, you know, the new modern fancy bearings in there. So let's crack on. First thing I've done is loosen the fork crown screws. It's probably smarter if you keep these tight and undo the top and then slowly loosen this. But yeah, I haven't got 2 hands. I'm doing the old. I have got 2 hands, haven't I? 1, 2. What a dummy. So I'm just going to release the screw on the top. This is on the preload from the spring that sits under here. And it'll shoot out, so it's important for me to hold the fork while I undo the screw at the top here. If I manage to put some meat into it. Oh, I don't want to push it off there. Damn you. Ah, there we go. So it's really important to keep hold of this bugger. It basically pushes itself out of the fork, which is something it didn't do. Why didn't it do that? That is completely loose. And the fork is still firmly in the triple tree. Right, so what I had to do there was, I have fit my fork installation tool, which is basically a threaded rod with threads that match the fork on the top there. And that's normally to pull the fork in, but I've installed that in the hope that if I give it some gentle taps, I might be able to release it from the crown. Hey, there we go. That certainly works. Right, before I remove... no, before I do the fun stuff, that is overhauling the fork and having a look what's going on there, I am going to remove the handlebar, and I'm going to take out the steerer damper assembly, this one, knobby knob. There's a lot of oil. I imagine these bearings haven't been overhauled for quite some time. They could actually almost be the original too. This is my Whitworth spanner, the only thing that I had that fit. And there is a castle nut. Hate those. I haven't got the special tool for those, so I just used something flat like this crown tool. There she is. That sleeve is not supposed to. It's pretty loose. It's good. Let's see if I can get this out. Ta-da! As you can see, it's got proper bearings on this already. Brilliant. Swap those out, shall we? Been a while since they've seen any grease. Right, I've got out the bearings, but as you can see, this modern bearing race is actually, I think this bike has been running with a loose headset, because there's some quite ugly marks on there. Problem with these is they normally fit with really strong Loctite that yeah, you can't really do much about, and I don't think it helps much to heat it either. So I'm not sure how I'm going to get this. I'm going to get these out. I could like try and get a chisel under there and push it up, or a screwdriver or something. I'll see how loose these are. It's really, really solid in there. Did I see some movement? Oh, if I'm lucky, I could price this out just by... I might also be lucky, and they might not have used the correct bearing type Loctite. I think I'm going to heat it up. As you can see, I've got it moving. A bit of heat helped. There's loads of grease on the back of that as well. So maybe they didn't use that really super duper strong Loctite, which was handy for me. And actually now I've got the race moving, you can see all these pitting marks. Oi, it's on a knife's edge, this this bike. But yeah, so I've been struggling trying to find out how to... I started rocking it a bit and loosened it, and what I did was screwed this down off my off my garage wall, and it's working a treat. The angle is really nice. There's obviously proper bearing pullers for these, but needs one, and it looks like if I knock this out alternate sides, hey, oh, almost, then I'm able to remove that race. Very nice. Right, let's take this out and have a look at it. You can see that's not how they're supposed to look. There's some pitting on the back side of the top one, and some pitting on the front side of the bottom one. So it's probably been a little bit slack. So when it's been braking or bumps in the road, it's been moving a little bit. So we'll clean this up, and I'll try and remove the one in the bottom, probably the same way. Looking at the marks on the outside of this bearing race, it looks to me as if the race at the bottom has been turning with the fork, which is not a good thing. So, but it's not loose by all means, but I think it has been turning with the bearing. But what I noticed was there's still paint on the inside of the races here. It's obviously been painted, this frame, without masking off the races. So what I'm going to do is, so I can get a chance for my super strong Loctite to work, is I'm going to use some emery cloth and take away the paint. The paint on the inside of that was tough as nails, so I ended up getting out my old Dremel and using my flappy wheel to clean up the surfaces there. I've roughed them up a little bit, and I'll fit these with Loctite. Now what you can do, if you want, is just use a center punch on the outside of the race here, and that secures them as well. But I like to use Loctite, and these things normally last sort of forever. Just pay attention, make sure that the headstock is completely clean in there, because over time when you start pumping oil in there to lubricate the bearings, if you've got some crap in there, that's going to find its way into the bearings. Now, before I fit these, I want to show you the difference. You can see there's slightly less taper on these taper bearings from SRM, and there's a lot more meat on the top edge. This one is pretty skinny at the top there, and it's different at the bottom too. This might be like a homemade item for us, for all I know, really, to tell you the truth. But anyway, what I do is I'll put this strong Loctite 648, which is specially made for fitting bearing races. It's the modern way to do it, and I'll drift them down with an aluminium drift. So that was the bearing races fit. Now I just have to grease them up and put the front end back together. Let me do that, and we're going to have a look how those forks were. So that's the triple trees fit on the back there. There's a fine line, a bit like Lambretta. There's a fine line between over tightening them. They should be loose, but no slack fore and aft. So that seems fine. I haven't tightened them down yet because I want to fit the fork, and I want to obviously line up the fork legs. I don't think they were in line, but when I took it off. But what I want to do now is have a look at the fork. I haven't cheated. I haven't looked. So this is the fork cowl. I actually, incidentally, bought another type, the long type. You'll see that when I fit it. It looks clean, but the big question is there any oil in here? Now, the springs, I'm not sure what they are. Someone said they were really firm, so these could be like sidecar springs. They are certainly not the progressive ones, because they are, I've got some there. They're the progressive springs. You can see those quite easily by the fact that the coils are tighter on one of the sides. Now, what I need to do, I really hope that these aren't like the modern ship ones. The fork seal holders sometimes don't have the tabs for the tools, so then you need a strap wrench, and I haven't got a strap wrench. So let's see if I can find a... Yeah, definitely. So what I'm going to do, I fit these to the vise. I can't be bothered messing around with the camera back and forth, up and down. Fit these securely in the bottom of the vise, and I screw up the seal holders, and then I can empty the forks for whatever's in the bottom of it. Right, lads, the fork seals themselves, the fork seal holders, they're loosened really easily. One of the fork legs, the spring was really rusty. Normally or at least when I fit these, I always apply some grease onto the spring to avoid that. And now it's just a question of lifting up this oil seal. It's really fine threads on these. The reason why it's called an oil seal is... the reason why it's called an oil seal is because there's a seal on here and it's really dry. I think I'm going to apply some WD-40 just so they can slide that off the leg. Oh, I can't move those fork seals, man. Something wrong with those. I might have to bash them. But let's have a look how much oil is in here. Strange thing is I couldn't get it out the bottom, but what that could just mean basically is that the hole is blocked with something. So I can poke a small instrument in there to get rid of the gunk, and I'll obviously give these a thorough wash. But let's have a look what's in the fork. Oh, water. Ah, there. Water and oil. That's quite a thick oil, that is. I normally use 20 weight. It could be what this is. Definitely. There's quite a lot of water in there. It was a bit strange. Let's see if I can pull those off. They're really not moving, are they? I'm going to have to hit them with my rubber mallet. Oh, he's coming, but what a nightmare. Woohoo! Ah, there we go. So the reason why these are called seal holders is, as you can see, there's a seal in the top there. These obviously need a thorough clean. I've got a new seal, and I'll show you how I fit those. And now what I need to do is release a circlip, which is on the top here. It's a bit of a pain, so I'll put that in the vise. As you can see here, the circlip I was talking about is actually a ring. And it wasn't too hard to get out, but now I have to sort of fish it around and not ping it somewhere in the garage. I can't find it because, doing, there we go, nice one. And now I can disassemble, can I? That's supposed to come apart. It's coming now. Just have to pull it out. Oh, there we go. That's it. There wasn't a lot of oil in there. I think, if I'm not wrong, is it 142 or something like that? I'm going to have to check the owner's manual. But that is not very nice. These fork bushes, not a lot of play on them really. They're not too bad. But I'm going to unscrew this. You can't see it, there's so much gunk on it. Let's have a look. There's a nut at the bottom here. I'll unscrew this. And I've actually bought some, there is a bit of wear on the bearings. The inner legs themselves, bit of wear here to the chrome, but nothing dangerous. I suspect that these forks have been overhauled, and they probably changed both the bushes and the inner legs. But it was like a horrible mess in there. So what I'm going to do that, I'm going to take this off and change the bushings, and I'll change the fork seal. Right. As you can see in the background there, I've already fit one of the fork legs, and I've been running around in the garage here on my hands and knees, trying my utmost best to find the bolt that fits in the bottom yoke. I just can't find it. It's completely vanished. But anyway, I'm sure I'll find some sort of substitute, and that'll probably turn up when I start on the Lambretta tomorrow. But what I wanted to do is show you how because this can be a real pain. They're so tight. Change the seals in the seal holders. Now, just prise it out with a screwdriver. Now, this is the wrong type seal. So I'm not really sure what's happened there. But the one on the other side looked quite dodgy. The one that was really hard to get off. Maybe it's been they've been unlucky when they've put it to place. But I'm going to show you how not to be unlucky. Now, the seal, it fits with the base towards that way, like so. And as you can see, it's got like a really thin edge on this. And the last time I overhauled a B33 fork, I found out by pure chance that this lambretta tool, this is a seal drift for a lambretta. You can find these on MB scooters in plastic. And they're absolutely excellent for doing this job because they fit exactly in BSA fork seal in that cool holder. So, and the nice thing is as well, once you get this moving, it's got no real way of tipping. So you can press that down really nice. So what I do is grease these up on the outside here. Obviously I need to clean this thing. Look at the state of that. The inside of the forks as well were horrible. And I'll clean this up and I'll fit the seal. And I shall attempt to fit the last leg. Do you know I just mentioned that that drift of mine didn't ruin the seals? Well, me and my big mouth. Ta-da! That's actually bent because I had to press it out again. So I got it in the slight angle. And the worst thing about this is I only had 2 seals. So I have to actually order some new ones from the UK. So probably about 2 weeks before I can carry on with this. And I really, really don't like it because it's sitting pretty precarious there. So I'll be giving a word of warning to my family that they should not touch that bike there in any way or form. And I'll have to knock it on the head. I've got no other choice. So don't forget, if you like watching this stuff, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It doesn't matter. And don't forget, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Not sure when that is. Next one, probably lambretta, until we get these parts. Anyway, I love you and leave you. Ta-ra. Hello my lovelies, Rob here from Kickback Garage. Today I will be doing a full and total rebuild of this thing.